Okay, I'll give it, I think we've given it enough time, so I will go ahead and start. Welcome to the Hopkinton, Massachusetts Planning Board meeting of Monday, May 8th, 2023. And I will start off today. Well, first of all, I'm the co-chair. Gary Trendle, the chairperson, is not present today, so I will be chairing the meeting. So I'll start out with the remote meeting script. Pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, this meeting will be conducted via remote means in accordance with applicable law. This means that members of the public body, as well as members of the public, may access this meeting via virtual means. Participants may access this meeting through the remote meeting link as posted on the meeting agenda and through the town's online calendar. When required by law or allowed by the chair, persons wishing to provide public comment or otherwise participate in the meeting may do so by raising their hand or otherwise signaling their intent to speak. This meeting will be recorded. Please take care to mute your microphone unless you have been recognized by the chair. We will now confirm attendance of members, and please respond in the affirmative. Elise, is Elise here? Do you know if Elise is attending, Joan? Okay. Ron.
Ron Pfeiffer, present.
Gary's not here. Jane.
Jane Moran, present.
Paul.
Paul, present.
Rob. No, Rob. Nope. Matt.
Present.
And I know Fran is intending to join us, but he, it looks like he might be a little late. And that means that we are missing Gary, Fran right now, and Elise, and Rob. Do we have enough to begin?
We do have a quorum, but just so.
Okay. Nobody drop off. And staff members, can you respond in the affirmative? John?
John Gelsich, present.
And Stephanie?
Stephanie Pemberton, present.
Thank you. And it doesn't look like we have anybody from
Beta.
Beta today. Yeah. Okay.
Phil is on vacation, so he will not be attending the meeting.
Gotcha. All right. So we have one public hearing, and that is for the minor site plan for the Parks and Rec for the pickleball courts. And we have recently done a site walk. And there's only been a few changes since the last time we met on this particular hearing. So do I need to reopen the hearing, or is it continued so it's already open?
It's been continued, so the hearing is already open.
Okay, thank you. So John, do you want to start out with some very brief comments and clarifying what has changed and what other comments you have on the status right now?
Sure. So the applicant has gone back and forth with Beta to just address the outstanding comments that Beta had in their letter. And they have now gotten the okay from Beta that says all of Beta's comments have been addressed. So now it is up to the planning board to make a decision on the site plan standards. And there are three waiver requests. Mm-hmm. Two from the site plan standards, one from the application fee, and then findings and conditions that Beta recommended.
Okay. And does anyone have any questions or comments on the changes that have been made since the last time we met?
Through the chair.
Yes.
As I was unable to attend the site visit, I've gone by the site myself, but I was wondering if the applicant would just give a brief overview of what the changes have been, just for clarity.
Sure.
Certainly. This is Andrew Leonard of Leonard Design Associates. I'd be glad to go over that. It really didn't change the configuration of the project at all. All we did was add a structure which will reduce the total particulates entering the bioswales from the parking lot in accordance with Beta's recommendation. Other than that, it was just some minor tweaks as to spot elevations and the configuration of the overflow out of the bioswale areas where, if they were to fill up, where overflow would go. Did not change the configuration of the courts, the parking, the entrance and exit drives in any way at all. So very minor from that standpoint. I'll be glad to put the grading plans up if you need to see them, but you should have gotten them. I got them over to planning last week, so hopefully you've had a chance to look at those. And again, it was pretty minor. It was mostly just making sure that we met all of Beta's concerns with the drainage report.
Thank you. Any questions from planning board members? No clarification? Okay. And yes, we all have had a chance to review the plans, and I don't think it's necessary to put it up on screen, but if anyone feels, just for the sake of the public, we can put it up on screen for people to look at. So I believe I have to read all the decision criteria. Is that correct?
You don't have to read the decision criteria. You just have to read the findings and the conditions. And
Okay, good. Good. That's one less thing to do. Okay. So decision criteria, we all have had a chance to review that because it's in our packet. But let's go on to the requested waivers. So the applicant is a town organization, so they requested a waiver for all filing administrative fees, aside from the review fees for the board's consultant. Okay. Does anyone have any questions or concerns about that waiver? No, I'm seeing shaking heads. Okay. The next waiver is for section 210, 136.1.m. The applicant does not propose a sidewalk along the frontage of the site. And although that is a rule that we have, I think, this particular site, it makes fairly good sense not to have a sidewalk there. Any questions or concerns on that request? Planning board members? No? Okay. And the final request for waiver, section 210, 136.1.n. The project does not have any proposed lighting, so therefore they wouldn't be complying with any lighting. So any concerns about that? Yep. Okay.
For the chair.
Yes, go ahead, Ron.
Again, I obviously haven't proposed any lighting, but I was just curious if Andrew, if there's any thoughts of having lighting such that the courts could be used for longer periods of time. I
would turn that over to Jay Guelphy, who I believe is on the meeting.
So the issue with lighting is the same issue we have with the Fruit Street athletic fields, in that the upgrade, the cost of the upgrade required through Eversource is more expensive than the actual project itself. We've been down this road before, and it's just not feasible to do that.
Okay, no, that's fine. I thank you for the answer. I was always curious about it. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Perhaps one day we will have everything electrified there.
One can dream.
Okay.
One can dream.
So that is the extent of the requested waivers. And so we can go ahead and can I have the motion for all three at once? Okay. So I would like to entertain a motion to approve the three requested waivers that were just read.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. And now to the vote. Ron?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Jane?
Yes.
Fran? Fran, you're muted. And Fran gave a thumbs up. Rob, that's
Good.
okay. Rob?
Yep. Yes. Rob, yes.
And Elise, thank you.
Hey, sorry, I was having computer problems.
Oh, that's okay.
I heard you guys, you just couldn't hear or see me. I vote yes.
Thank you. And Mary is a yes. So the waivers pass. The proposed findings that we have, so I'm just going to read them from the packet. 1, the proposed minor project site plan, conforms to the site plan standards as described in section 210-136.1 of the zoning bylaws. The proposed project is not anticipated to adversely affect the current conditions on the site related to parking, traffic, and access or stormwater management. 3, the waivers requested and granted are not anticipated to adversely impact the town, abutters, or users of the pickleball courts. Does anyone have any comments or questions about those findings?
Through the chair, I was always curious about the verbiage when it says not anticipated adversely affect the current conditions related to parking traffic. So the word, the verbiage adversely affect, in principle, if this is successful, traffic should go up. So again, maybe John, this is probably a legal term, but I'm just curious, what does it define as adversely affect?
So through the chair, I guess it is a legal term. I don't intend it as a legal term. I guess decisions are legally binding documents, so maybe it is a legal term. The adversely affect it is not anticipated to make traffic bad. Like, yes, it will increase traffic, but it is not going to make the traffic on the site bad or way worse, right? It's going to impact it, but it's not going to significantly impact it so that it is something needs to be done to address it, kind of a thing.
Okay, thank you very much. I just want some clarity. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. And does anyone propose any other findings on this site plan review?
Mary, can I ask a general question here?
Yes, go ahead, Rob.
So this is probably through you, probably for Jay. But so the Fruit Street fields have been athletic fields for the purposes of practicing and games and all of that for years. But in the past several years, it's now the dog park and now pickleball courts. It's much more, I would say, focused on Hopkinton residents going there for just on an ad hoc schedule. And big picture, are there any other things through Parks and Rec or any other town bodies looking at that land to be more of like a park? Like I look at a dog park or pickleball courts; those are more things like you'd have at a park, as opposed to the soccer fields. And what's the big picture? Is there a big picture?
Well, depending on who you talk to, the big picture is different. So from the standpoint of Parks and Recreation, we've maxed out our footprint there. If you look at the Fruit Street Master Plan, which I actually have, I'm not on video, but it's right next to me. We really only have a very small section within that master fruit plan. And between the dog park and these pickleball courts, we've maxed that out. So we've actually moved down to Pine Field. We're actually reconfiguring the Little League field at Pine to build a cricket pitch, some more parking, and an upgraded Little League field. So we've maxed out our all of our goals at Fruit Street. Does that kind of answer your question?
I guess, and now it opens up another question to me through the chair. What other town bodies have rights to the land there?
Can I just suggest that in the near future, we have the Fruit Street master plan presented to planning board, and I don't know who the best person or committee is to come present that, but I think it would be very useful and interesting to all of us to understand that better.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's, I would say probably the assistant town manager and director of land use would probably be the final authority on that. Okay. And I anticipate something next year at town meeting addressing it as well. Okay, great.
And Fran, you raised your hand. Go ahead.
I did, just to kind of piggyback a little bit on Rob's comment. I do know, Rob, that the Trails Group has There are the number of trails that kind of intersect and kind of are all kind of intertwined back there. And I do think, Mary's comment is a good one. And Jay, it sounds like it's on the docket. But when you kind of look at the aggregate Fruit Street / Pine Street, facilities, there's a lot there and there's a lot of space. And I think it would be helpful for, members of this body as well as potentially others, and even at town meeting, to say, hey, here's what the master plan is looking like, what that looks like, and then how that master plan integrates with the town master plan as well. So I think there's probably a couple parts to it. And again, it sounds like you guys have, some boots on the ground.
Through the chair, there are still pieces of that parcel that are designated for affordable housing, for example. There at one point, at one time, they were thinking about putting a school in there. So it's a bit foggy right now as to what the long-term plans are for that parcel.
Jane?
Just to piggyback on what Fran said, another group that I know of that's using the property mainly after school and on weekends are the Scouts associations. They'll go down there and they're doing their camping now. In fact, I think there was something in the town meeting language or it's coming up, that's going to allow them to use, instead of rather under 5 acres plus, so that they can utilize the property for their activities as well.
So, John, I don't know if, I can leave this with you to discuss with Gary and have appropriate people come in and show the master plan at some point. And obviously, master plans are subject to change, but it would be a starting point for all of this team to understand it. Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay. So we voted on the proposed findings, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so conditions are next.
Barry,
Go ahead, Fran.
Through the chair, I just wanted to see if there's any other members of the public, open it up for any comments on the findings or waivers, but I hadn't heard it, maybe I missed it, just to make sure that there's anything else.
Yeah, I didn't see any members of the public here, but yes, please raise your hand if you're interested in commenting on any aspects of this.
But through the chair, Steph, can you just confirm? I don't have a vote for the findings. I don't think you guys voted.
We didn't vote?
You just
No
discussed
vote.
them.
Okay, did we get, we got a motion and a second, right?
I don't have a motion or a second, no. I think
Okay.
you asked questions about them and that's kind of where we went off the
Oh,
rails.
that's where we were? Okay, thank you. I couldn't quite remember. All right, so seeing no raised hands for comments from the public as well, I will entertain a motion to accept the findings as previously read aloud.
So moved.
Second, Fran.
Thank you. Okay, and a vote. Ron,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Jane,
Yes.
Fran,
Yes.
Elise,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
and Mary Larson Marlowe is a yes. Okay, so we're through the findings. Now we will go to the proposed conditions. All right, bear with me. Okay, number one, after finding that it was in the public interest and not inconsistent with the intent and purpose of the site plan standards, the planning board waived strict compliance with the following provisions of 210-136.1, the site plan standards. The waivers of the provisions allow the construction of the development as shown on the approved plans. And that's with the 3 waivers granted that we've already voted on.
Through the
2,
chair,
yes.
not to be too nitpicky, but you only need to list the waivers from site plan, not the administrative fee one.
Oh, okay. Just the 2 waivers granted then. Okay, 2, the Director of Municipal Inspections inspects projects under construction for compliance with the approved decision of site plan review. This includes the driveway, roadway, and infrastructure construction shown on the plan, if applicable. If the Director of Municipal Inspections determines at any time before or during construction that a registered professional engineer or other such outside professional is required to assist with the inspections of the stormwater management system or any other component of the site plan, the applicant shall be responsible for the cost of those inspections. 3, all construction activities shall adhere to applicable local, state, and federal laws and regulations regarding noise, vibration, dust, sedimentation, and the use of or interference with or blocking of town roads. 4, the applicant shall be responsible for mitigating all construction-related impacts, including erosion, siltation, and dust control. The applicant shall maintain all portions of any public way used for construction access free of soil, mud, or debris deposited due to use by construction vehicles associated with the project, and shall regularly sweep such areas as directed by the Director of Municipal Inspections in consultation with the DPW Director. 5, the applicant shall regularly remove construction trash and debris from the site in accordance with good construction practice and the construction management plan. No tree stumps, demolition material, trash, or debris shall be burned or buried on the site. 6, all exterior lighting within the development project, whether shown on the approved site plan or required by the Massachusetts State Building Code, shall be shielded, directed downward and not upward and outward, and shall not spill onto adjacent property. But of course, we've already waived exterior lighting on the project, so. 7, all fixed mechanical equipment on the site shall be screened from view from the ground. Such screening shall be sufficient in the opinion of the Director of Municipal Inspections. 8, if construction has not commenced within 3 years of the date of filing of the site plan decision with the town clerk, approval shall be automatically rescinded unless such time is extended by the board. For the purposes of this condition, the term commenced shall mean the commencement of site work. 9, construction may occur only between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. pursuant to Chapter 141, Article 1 of the Town of Hopkinton General Bylaws. 10, the applicant shall submit final as-built plans to the planning board prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy. 11, the applicant developer shall provide the principal planner with a project point of contact and contact information prior to the issuance of a building permit. This point of contact information shall be kept current through correspondence to the principal planner until the final certificate of occupancy is issued or construction is otherwise considered complete. 12, a completed, signed, long-term operations and maintenance plan shall be submitted to the planning board prior to the commencement of construction. 13, a completed, signed stormwater pollution prevention plan, SWPPP, shall be submitted to the planning board prior to the commencement of construction. 14, the applicant shall provide notice to the principal planner at least 72 hours, weekends and holidays excluded, prior to the excavation of stormwater infrastructure to allow for the coordination of an agent of the town to observe excavation of infiltration basins to confirm soil conditions. 15, a signed illicit discharge statement shall be provided to the planning board prior to commencement of construction. And that completes the conditions. Does anyone have comments or changes, suggestions, or additions? Yes, John?
I do just want to note that those lighting conditions are standard,
Mhm.
and I would recommend the board keep them in just in case things change down the road. It'll still be covered by this permit.
Yep. One of the boilerplate statements we have. Okay, seeing no comments, I will entertain a motion to, do we do the conditions separate from the decision? I never remember. We can? Yes? We vote on them separately?
You can, or you can do, the approval motion is I move the board approve the minor site plan, project site plan with the following conditions.
Oh, with the conditions. Okay,
So
got it.
they're included there, or you can do them separately if you want to.
And now let's do them all together. All right.
So moved.
Second. Did we? Yeah.
Yeah,
John
okay.
read the motion, right?
John, did you read the motion? Yeah, you read the motion, right?
Sure.
All right. Good, thank you. Ron, how do you vote?
Yes.
Fran,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Jane,
Yes.
Elise,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
and Mary Larson Marlowe is a yes. So, now do we have to close the hearing? Okay, good. Got it right. All right. I will entertain a motion to close this hearing.
So moved.
Thank you.
Rob, second.
Thank you. And voting on that, Ron,
Yes.
Fran,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Jane,
Yes.
Elise,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
and Mary Larson Marlowe is a yes. Thank you very much, everyone, and look forward to learning how to play pickleball.
Yep, thanks
The
very
ones
much
that
for all your help on this.
Thanks,
Really
Jake.
appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing all of you on the pickleball courts.
Great.
Yes, thank you very much.
Take care.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
All right, we have one other item on the agenda, and that is the minutes. These were sent out by Stephanie at about 4:30. So hopefully everyone had a chance to at least glance at them. And does anyone have any changes on these?
No.
No, I don't see any hands. Okay, I even beat my expectation. I said we could get this done in an hour, but John made it easy for us because everything was solved before the meeting started. So I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes of April 3rd as
So
is.
moved.
Okay,
So moved.
Rob, second.
thank you. Okay, and voting on those, Fran,
Yes.
Ron,
Right. Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Matt.
Unfortunately, I didn't read them, so I'm going to vote present.
Okay, Jane,
Yes.
Rob,
Rob Benson, yes.
Elise,
Yes.
and Mary Larson Marlowe is a yes. And before Fran and Paul and I take our final votes, I just wanted to say thank you, everybody. Thank you, Fran. It's been a great pleasure working with you for years on this committee. And Paul, I hope you find your way into town politics again. I think you've been a great addition to the team. So, and we'll see.
And I'm going to miss you, Mary. You've been fantastic over these last years, and we all missed your wisdom and your smile.
Oh, thank you.
I would just echo that, Ronnie's statement. Mary, you've been great. You and Zach, you've done a lot. So thank you very much. Tip of the cap on that one. I also want to thank John and Stephanie. I can remember back when Eileen was the principal planner. Then it went to Jennifer, right? Before John, Obi, and some of the other folks. And, Rob, Elise, Ronnie, Matt, Jane, I'm thinking of anybody else, Gary too. Good luck. Appreciate working with you guys. This has been the best, and it's been a great experience. So thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah. And I hope we see everybody on May 19th. I hope we can make it. So, yeah.
Well,
Okay.
thank all three of you. It's been terrific. I've really enjoyed working with all of you.
Likewise.
Good luck.
Fran,
Thank you
you
for
broke up
sharing.
when you were saying something before.
Oh, is it the Friday the 19th, or is it going to be the Thursday? The Friday?
I think it's a Friday.
Friday the 19th.
Yeah.
All right. I'd have to toast you guys virtually. We'll see.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, well then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. And Fran, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Jane,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Elise,
Yes.
And Mary Larson Marlowe is a yes. Good night, everyone.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Scott.
I hope
Donnie.
to- Take care.